How to reverse round a corner. First of all, the examiner will pull you up before the corner and tell you that this is the corner he wants you to reverse into, and keep reversing back for some distance after going round the corner. Assess the corner before you begin. Have a look at the corner, look for any parked cars, any blind areas, assess and try to work out how much steering you will need. Before you move off, make sure you do full observations, and when you park up, don't park up too near the curb. This will make it harder to see as you go round the corner. About half a metre would be ideal. So preparing to move off, make sure you check all of your mirrors and also your blind spot. When you're sure it's all safe to go, we've now pulled forward past the corner, giving ourselves plenty of room before we reverse back, checking that we've got the wheel roughly straight and the car straight and level. So preparing to move back to the point of turn. So when we reverse back, we should be looking for the curb to go from the back window. The white line at the moment is roughly in the middle of the back window. That curb is going to move across and reappear in the small quarter light window in this car, or the end of the window if you've got a 3-door hatchback. Could appear in the very corner of the back window if you're in a saloon car. Either case, we're trying to get our back wheel just at the point where we're going to turn. Again, before you move off, have a good look all around, check all of your mirrors, check the blind spot. So we've now reversed back to the point of turn. If we look in the side mirror, then we can see that we're at the point where the road begins to bend. We can see it bending away from us in the circle mirror in particular. And the curb has moved from the back window, so there's just a white line there now. It's moved across, disappearing and reappearing in the quarter light. In this car, this is normally where most people will see it. Have a good look all around again, particularly remembering the blind spot. Remember, when you turn, the front of the car will swing out. We must make sure there's no traffic before we do that. So I'm going to do half a turn of the wheel, and then we'll see whether we need to adjust as we go around the corner. So make sure you check again everywhere before you move off. So we're now at the point of turn, and make sure there's nobody crossing behind you before you go around the corner. I've turned the wheel approximately half a turn, and if we look in the circular mirror, we can see that we're following the curb back quite nicely at the moment. Now, if the car drifts out, we will need to turn a bit more in, approximately a quarter of a turn. If we get too close, then we will have to take off some steering or completely get the wheel back to the straight position. The important thing is not to hit the curb. Notice how the front is beginning to swing out at this point. So again, final check over the shoulder before we go round the corner, when we're going to be busy following the curb, so we don't want to be took by surprise. We're now approximately halfway around the corner, and we're beginning to drift away from the curb a little bit. So I'm going to do another quarter of a turn to bring us a little bit closer, by which point we should be more or less round the corner. When it goes into that window, we will take all the steering off, so we're back to the straight position, and we'll try and time it so that as the car becomes level and straight, the car becomes level and straight. So we've now turned the wheel another quarter of a turn. That should normally be sufficient. If you do too much, then you're in danger of hitting the curb, which is exactly what we don't want. So we've now come almost completely round the corner. You can see in the mirror that the curb's coming into that window. If we look in the side mirror, particularly the circular one, we can see that we're around the corner, and if we look in the back window we can see the curb's coming back towards the middle. So as we go back now, I'm going to get the wheel straight. We're 3/4 of a turn at the moment. Have another good look all around before we get the wheel back to the straight position, trying to time it so that as the car becomes level, the wheel becomes straight. So we've now got the wheel back to the straight position, and we can do any fine adjustment. So we've now come around the corner and we've got the car more or less in the parked position. We're more or less back to where we started from. We're heading slightly towards the curb. We did a slight adjustment just to bring it a little bit closer. We shall reverse back the last little bit, and that will just level the car up completely. So we've now got the wheel back to the straight position. The car is nice and level and close to the curb, and we're watching out the back window to see if any traffic or pedestrians come from behind. Make sure reverse back approximately 10 metres from the corner so that any traffic going in and out won't be inconvenienced by us. So that is basically how you should reverse around the corner.